How you doing, guys? Welcome back to Coffee and Juice. So, it's your first time tuning into the channel. I consider this channel like an adventure channel, meaning that I'm a nomadic person who bounces around, more specifically 6 months Thailand and 6 months van life in America. So now when you look to explore or you tune into a travel channel or adventure channel, there are certain things that might be on your bucket list. But if you follow the channel for a little bit, I'm a little bit of a threat assessment guy. And I don't believe that you should take, unnecessary risks. And sometimes I'm going to highlight that. So there's a story coming out of Bali that I'm going to highlight, and it's also going to kind of bifurcate or prong to certain other, central themes on my channel. So stick around. I'm going to break this one down. It's pretty interesting. And I think you can get something out of it. So now when it comes to your bucket list, no one can judge what you want to explore, because once again, when you're in certain parts of the world, it might be a one-shot deal regarding you actually, seeing something for the first time, and you may never come back to that region. So the one story we're going to talk about today is that in Bali, I think more specifically Canggu, which I've been to, which is pretty cool, is that a lot of you want to go and intermingle in a monkey forest. Now, if you've been living under a rock, all the incidents that happen coming out of these monkey forests are never really positive. So now the one story that I'm going to highlight today, and it's going to kind of speak about central themes on when you travel, is that there was a young Australian lady who got bit by a monkey. So now, once again, we talk about health insurance if you're an expat or you're going to stay long term. So as the article presents, basically it was a 6,000 USD bill for a series of rabies shots plus other things that she was given plus the hospital stay. So now, contingent on who's tuning into the channel, 6,000 US dollars, either if you're traveling for a month or you're here for a year, $6,000 is pretty huge hit for something that, in my opinion, probably could have been avoided if you might have not had the proclivity to have this type of adventure-seeking behavior regarding your bucket list. So now, the $6,000 is not necessarily my issue, because one thing you may not realize, and obviously I'm looking to dissuade you from going to these monkey forests or zoos or whatever they are, is that once you get bit by a monkey, they're going to put you on the cocktail. Now, if you don't understand the moniker of the cocktail, it's when they give you HIV medication regarding post-exposure. Now, coming from a law enforcement first responder background, if you've ever spoken to anybody that's been on the cocktail, it could be life-threatening, this AIDS medication. So now, besides the fact that a monkey could rip your face off, another thing you've got to consider is that internally, if you study the HIV medication, it will rip you apart. So now you got the money, the medication that they have to throw you on. So all I'm trying to say is that if you're interested in going to visit a monkey sanctuary, I would say think twice, just like I did a video on these fish spas where people stick their heads, their feet in there. I mean, I always keep it real with you guys. Like, what are you doing? And you know what? Like, I'm considered to be white, even though I'm mixed a little bit. It's like white people seem to endanger themselves in, like, I don't know, precarious ways, it seems. So all I'm saying is that this is something that you want to think about. Now, when it comes to health insurance, you'll always see advertisements. But what I would recommend you do if you're going to pick up some health insurance is that I would read the fine print on what it's going to cover and what it's not going to cover, because sometimes out here in Southeast Asia, things can get a little tricky if you're a foreigner regarding you trying to procure certain things. So let's also talk about this really quick. So now that we move toward another topic that I think I might bring up once a week, because I think I need to remind you guys of how serious certain things can be. So if you pay attention to the news, current events, there's a new sexually transmitted infection that is like a ringworm, but sexually now you can contract it. So they kind of found patient zero of this particular infection. He was it seemed how can I say this, a sexual tourism type traveler who was bouncing around to Greek, all different places. And he comes back to the United States. And it seems that this particular infection has now is instead of there maybe being 28, now there's 29. So once again, to come back to this theme of this, probably thinking about people, again, each his own. But now if you have to speak about these protecting yourself, and once again, this is all about awareness. And the reason why I do these speeches is not only to protect you, but if there's a community of individuals that have the proclivity to seek out adult entertainment, you would be protecting the community of individuals by always protecting and wrapping yourself up before you partake in these particular events. So a little bit of a short speech today. I wanted to kind of stay with that current event regarding the ringworm. And I always say, look, take care of your brother. We don't have much left. I consider, my page and my comment section to be a brotherhood. There's limited negativity. Even though someone said I sound like Peter Griffin, which is more of a Boston accent, I don't know where that necessarily came from. So just keep that in mind. Coffee and juice. I hope you have a great day. And don't dismiss the words that I'm trying to teach you, or I'm trying to at least give you this knowledge so you don't get yourself hurt. Okay? Oh, no. And we'll talk soon. Oh, no.